Hey, this is Chantal Gerardy from the Meaningful Marketing Podcast, and today I'm super excited to have Kailah here with me. I met the amazing Kailah at a Breathwork Immersion over the last week because I am learning to get my Breathwork certification. And Kailah and I had this really interesting conversation around how is it that when you give some people a strategy, it works for them, and when you give the strategy to someone else, it doesn't work for them. And we had such an interesting conversation about it. I was like, get in the studio and let's do this thing. Hey, it's lovely to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Awesome. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself, little Kailah.
How do I condense my entire life? So I am a mama of 3 little boys. I have 2 businesses. I have a bridal hair and makeup business and also a business coaching and energetic strategy mentor. And I have recently completely transformed my entire life. I've moved from Perth to Gold Coast within 5 weeks, and I also just completely obliterated is the word that I want to come to, is coming to mind, where I've just completely obliterated what I knew that was my life and completely transformed it into what is becoming my life. And now I'm completely shifting industries and the way that I show up for my clients, which is really powerful and very exciting.
Oh, that's so super cool. So as the Meaningful Marketing Podcast, obviously what you were doing obviously had a lot of meaning for you already, but I can see from the excitement in your face that as you're shifting and as you're moving into this new space and your business is evolving, this new business that you're moving into right now, it has even more meaning for you.
Yes, everything that I do has so much intention, purpose, and strategy. It always comes from my heart, and I've always led from my heart. So I'm always in tune with who I am, what I'm doing, and how I'm serving my clients. And if I'm showing up and I have this discord internally, I know that something's not in alignment. And so I'm always trusting what I'm here and what's guiding me towards the next step essentially. And so I originally had my bridal hair and makeup business, which then led me into business mentoring and coaching for the bridal hair and makeup industry, which then led me to where I am now. And it's taken me, I would say, a solid 12 months for me to fully anchor and own with absolute trust, confidence, and conviction who I am and what I'm here to do in this next stage. And that has been because the conversations I have with my clients is mind-blowing when I realize that it's never the strategy that you're giving them. It's always what they believe they're capable of doing. Do they have the confidence? Do they see their value? Do they trust and know that they are here to serve their clients to the highest of their potential? And are they in alignment with their highest potential? And then as I started to work with my clients more and more, I realized, it's got nothing to do with the strategy, absolutely nothing. And I would have clients that would skyrocket and they were an energetic frequency match for me. And then I would have clients that would just not take action. And I'm like, well, why are you not taking action? And then I realized I was like, it's not the strategy and it's not you, it's your programming, it's what you believe in yourself. It's it's the hesitation, it's the shadow, it's everything that's happening within yourself that is actually holding you back. And from there, I realized my superpower is always taking aligned action and knowing where my shadows are or where my blocks are. And then I realized, I need to bring this to the business world. I need to help my clients go deeper and shift this. So now I'm here doing this. It has led me from such a logical business to completely heart-led, completely intuitive, completely within. It's nothing outside of you. It's always within you and you already have it. And I think when I realized that and when I fully grasped that, that's when it was this light bulb moment. And now here we are.
Well, you can see how much joy it brings you, when you see people getting up every day, going to work and doing stuff, and they just look so miserable and they're so unhappy. And many of them are actually making a lot more money than you or I are. And they're absolutely so miserable. They're not, I call it soul satisfied, and it's because they're not soul aligned. So you see that you're speaking about, you like to work with women in business and then also with their soul. And you can understand how if the one is not in alignment, your business could be totally in alignment. But if your soul is not in alignment and you are not being led to fulfill your purpose on this earth, you can just see how chaotic that would be.
Oh, absolutely. There's a certain magic that you bring to your business when you're in complete alignment. When the business and soul is aligned, there is a magnetism that is unfucking stoppable that I can't even explain it. And it's just creates illogical results because you are so in alignment with what you're here to do, and it's your gift to the world. So you're not doing the world a favor if you're not in alignment, because you're not doing what you're here to do. And so the sooner I can bring my clients or unveil or reveal who they are at a soul, like in their heart, like with their vision, who they're meant to be, the sooner I can bring them into the alignment, the sooner they can be here and share with the world what they're here to share, because everybody has a gift or a message that they're here to share with the world. And you need to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to be serving your purpose. And then everybody says, like, do you jump out of bed bouncing? And I'm like, yes, the answer is quite literally yes. Like,
it's a fuck yes.
It's a full like fuck yes. Because I am in alignment, and I know when I'm not in alignment as well. So I make decisions and I lead my life from that place. And if everybody could do that, imagine there wouldn't be miserable people walking around. Like, everybody would be bouncing around.
Oh, there's so many good points in that. And I think, sometimes you can't read the label from when you're inside the jar, right? So sometimes helping somebody or working with someone to help you work out what that is, like what your actual purpose and your vision is, great. And we're not talking about your goal setting. Like there's nothing worse than when someone sticks me in a room and they go, what's your 10-year plan, like your goal? Because there's no way in hell I would have said that 10 years ago that I'd have a marketing software company, a marketing agency, I'd be doing breathwork, I've got a meaningful marketing podcast, I'm an international speaker. There's no way any of that would have been on there, because I used to own like health, wellness and fitness centers. There's no way I could have ever done it. The only thing that got me to this place was the feeling of, I got goosebumps. The feeling of how I want to live my life. And we get to choose. Yes. We get to choose how we get to live our life. We get to choose what type of business owner we are. We get to choose what type of mum we are. We get to choose how we show up. And I always say, it's kind of like spices, and you go for a recipe and you look at it and you go, ooh, I want her spice, and I want that spice, and I want this spice, and I want that spice, and grab all those spices and go, I'm going to make the most delicious, Chantal meal from these spices. And then I focus on those characteristics and I go, how can I hang around more of those people? And how can I be more like those people? And it's as simple as making a choice.
It's the conscious choice. And is that conscious choice in alignment with your highest potential and your highest timeline, or is it in alignment with who you think you can be? Because logically, we can't even comprehend what we are capable of until we've created the evidence that we've done it. So very much like you, if you asked me at the beginning of my journey, when I first opened my home salon, would I ever be living in the Gold Coast? Would I ever be teaching, like holding space to the wildest transformations for my clients from an inner world perspective? Absolutely not. Like, I hope swearing's okay. I'm passionate.
Of course it is. Fuck yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, there's no way that my mind 10 years ago, 15 years ago could have comprehended that I would be where I am today, because I haven't yet created the evidence. And that's the only way that our mind, works, is that it can only see what we've created before. It cannot see the future unless you've got magic, which we all do. And you can see a different potential, and you can see a higher timeline. And when you can tap into your higher timeline, which is the desire that we all hold, the thing that we are too scared to tell anybody about, and the thing that we're too scared to fucking claim, when we tap into that and we take aligned action and we consciously choose that pathway, that's where we absolutely create illogical results. But it does take the work. It takes us to move through what would have held us back, to move through the fear of showing up and getting seen or being you. Like, we all have a perspective of who we should be. If you could give yourself the permission to break free of that and be all of you unapologetically, taking the aligned action and having the conscious choice that you are going to be the highest timeline, the highest version of you. Oh my God. Like,
so good.
Anything is fucking possible. Like, anything.
I think the first time for me when I truly felt it was after my divorce, because I was so incredibly unhappy with my life as a mother, as a wife, as a South African living in Australia. I was so conflicted about, who I was and where I fitted into this world. And that is actually when my personal development journey started, because it was like, who am I outside of being a mum? Who am I outside of being a wife? Who am I outside of being a South Africa and all the societal pressure that came with that? And that was incredibly revealing, which can be scary. It's a scary place to go. And I suppose it's why a lot of people don't do that.
Well, they don't want to look in the mirror.
So, yeah.
The mirror is
100%.
scary. It's going to show you the shadows.
Yeah. But how awesome is it that, I just think back to it and I go, how much freedom it gave me to do it. How much freedom. If you ask me what I like to do, did I like to travel, don't I like to, had no freaking idea. And when I just started looking at it and going, well, who am I and what is my gift to this earth and what do I actually enjoy doing? Everything just started falling into alignment. I mean, I just opened up a health, wellness and fitness center suddenly, and then it just happened, And then I just started a marketing agency and then a marketing software agency and a podcast and international travel. And it's like, where did any of this come from? And I am going to say that I do work hard.
Let's not lie about that.
Yeah, let's not lie about that. Because
there's a difference. There's a difference between showing up when it's in alignment. It doesn't feel like hard work because it just flows. And you all of a sudden have this capacity for like making big moves. And that's when you know you're in alignment. But when you have this like stretch feel, like force feeling, like push, that heavy, that density where it's like a real, like this is the last thing I want to do in the world right now. I could be doing anything else. That is out of alignment. But when you're lit up to go to work and do the thing that most people wouldn't fucking do, that's when you know that you're in alignment. And that's like the quantum leap, isn't it? That's like where you do the illogical and you create the illogical and you have the illogical. Like exactly what
so
you
good. And it drives me nuts because I get people saying to me all the time, Chantal, you're so lucky.
Yeah. You're like,
and I go, well, we're all lucky. We all have luck, but I've put a lot of things in place and I've made a lot of decisions and I've done the work. Like I do the work, and when I'm feeling uncomfortable and I'm feeling down and I'm feeling miserable, I still do the work.
Yes. And there would have been moments in those moves that you made where there would have been a fear or a doubt that was coming up, but you still took the action even with the fear and even with the doubt. And that's where most people stop. Like most people stop when there's a tiny little glimmer of shadow. Most people stop when there's a tiny little moment of fear. But it's the ones that are extraordinary that create the illogical results because they took action with the fear. And that takes the inner work. That takes sitting with yourself. That takes having absolute trust and confidence and conviction in who you are, knowing that even if it fucking fails, it's going to be a magnificent lesson and it's going to redirect you in the right direction. And so you can't ever fail. And when you realize that, you're like, why the fuck are you sitting around? Like,
I love that. I love that so much. Like, it's so true. It's every time I have failed, that is
a redirection.
Put me into something else, and the lessons and the learnings have just been absolutely amazing. So fear, I love the acronym fear, and for those of you watching online, there is a blog that I wrote on fear, and it's called Face Everything and Rise or Fear Everything and Run. So go and have a read of that because I share my personal journey on some of the fears that I've experienced throughout my life. So good.
Oof, that's powerful.
So let's talk about, your highest potential. Okay, so if everyone has potential, highest potential.
Yeah, so we're not living it. We are not living our highest potential. And we all came here to become our highest potential. It's not even a becoming, it's an unveiling or a revealing of who we are because it's already who we are. We already are our highest potential. But when you're born, you're gifted with these generational traumas and beliefs. And up until 7, your family are creating who you think you are and who you believe you are and what you are capable of. And ultimately, I don't even know how to condense this, but everything that we experience in our life shapes us to believe who we are and what we're capable of. So if you were raised in a family of, people that go to work and they have to work the job and they have to work hard to be like, and this is as good as it gets, you're going to literally believe in your lifetime that if you could just get one client in your business, you're already doing better than what you ever thought you could. And so that's the peak. But it's so fucking not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's absolutely just the beginning of your peak. You're in the baby stage of what you're actually capable of creating. And if you just let go of the story and you just accepted, loved, honored, and like with gratitude where you've been and where you are now, and then you chose a different experience and you consciously chose to become or fully connect with who you are, which is your highest potential, you would be 10 years from now looking back on your life and thinking, how the fuck did I do this? Like, what the fuck? I would have never imagined this was possible because you genuinely don't believe it's possible until you've created it.
No, it's so true. So incredibly powerful. And I think, we mentioned it earlier, but gathering evidence is really important, especially for me because, I have a very logical mind. Like I'm actually quite a logical person. I've always been spiritual and that's, I actually got more and more as I've gotten older. I've tapped more and more into that. But I love to gather evidence and, gratitude is one of those things, gathering evidence to support that the universe has delivered on something and has given you something. And then when something unexpected happens, that is like a gift. Like it's an absolute blessing. But if we don't gather evidence, look at it and show it gratitude, we're not seeing it. So we're slogging through life and all these amazing things are happening and you're not seeing it. It's like you've got blinkers on.
Yes, it's the small closed mind, and that's not anyone's fault. It's just who we have all been raised to be because it's been a generational thing. And you're right. Like one of my most favorite things to do with my clients is if you haven't created the evidence yet or you haven't seen it, you just need to look for examples. Is there somebody in the world, and there is, who has created what you desire to create? Or if there's somebody who is close to what you want to create, if that person exists, then she's just shown you that it's absolutely possible for you. Like there is no difference between you and a fucking $70 million business. The only difference is that she took the action and she believed in herself enough to take the aligned action again and again. And then all of a sudden she quantum leaped, created illogical results. There would have been a moment where she thought she couldn't do it too, but she took the action with the fear and she did what was necessary to move through it, to then still take the action with the fear again at the next level, again at the next level, again at the next level, because it doesn't fucking stop. And that's when you become more in alignment with your highest potential.
Yeah, I love that. And you just get used to the roller coaster ride. We last week with the breathwork thing, we were talking about regulating the nervous system and making it flexible so that when stuff happens, you can flick someone off in the car and your heart rate can go through the roof, but you can just come straight back down again and you can have this, flexible nervous system. And it's exactly the same. If we're more flexible as business owners in that when shit hits the fan, something doesn't go your way, a client doesn't pay their bill, or, something unexpected happens, or a staff member leaves, or unexpectedly, shit is going to happen, but it's how you react to it.
And it's difference between reacting and responding. And if you've got the flexible nervous system or the capacity to hold that higher energy of potentially anxiety or the racing heart, when you're like, I can't deal with this right now, I have enough on my plate, what the fuck? I cannot deal with one more team member, whatever the issue is. If you in that moment have the ability to ground and anchor and create safety within yourself, in your nervous system, you can shift the perspective and you can respond to that experience or that scenario from a different energy as opposed to reacting. Because you'll find that if you react out of anxiety, it's one of those moments that you'll come back to and be like, oh, I wish I reacted a little bit different. I see it differently now. I would have handled that differently. But if you give yourself the moment just to ground with a 4-8 breath, so in for 4 and then out for 8, just 4 of those breaths will give you enough time to shift the perspective, to calm your nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic. And in that moment, you will respond so differently. That can change your life.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I absolutely love that. My daughter had a situation yesterday where she had some feedback from a past client of hers. She does nannying and she had some feedback from them and she immediately got on the defensiveness and was wanting to go in. And I'm like, I could see her breath was short. She was getting agitated and she was responding via text and messaging. And I was going, babe, I actually put the phone down, go for a walk, have a couple deep breaths. You don't need to respond or reply right now. But sometimes, and most times, it's better for you to step back out rather than to throw yourself back in.
Absolutely.
And that is one of the biggest lessons as a business owner I've had, because I was always like, just deal with things, just deal with things, just deal with things. And I was like, no, hold on a sec. I am dealing with things, but let me just step back.
From the right energetics.
Because else, when I'm reacting, all I'm doing is reacting from a place of fear or I must be right or ego.
Well, that's the thing, is 100%. It can also be the trigger that you're reacting with. So if, for example, with your daughter, if she's said something, it could be triggering maybe an inner wound, which is I'm not good enough or nothing that I do is good enough. For example, I don't know if that's accurate, but that could be it, right? And that comes up a lot in business. When we get rejected in a sale, for example, we're not just getting rejected in a sale. We are also taking that on board and being like, I'm not good enough. So you don't think that I'm valuable enough? You think that person's more valuable than me? Like, there is so much that is unconsciously running in your head that you might not even be aware of. And so that's then triggering this feeling within inside of you, which then shifts how you show up. You got to post a piece of content that day from that energy, and you're going to repel your clients. Like, you are going to repel because you're writing from your ego or from the trigger, and you're not responding from that shift in like, okay, I see that I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. How can I shift that within myself? How can I see where I am so fucking good and where I am so fucking powerful? And then you just got to look for the evidence around you that your clients fucking love you. Like, you just need to shift that within you, and then that will shift your external reality.
Oh, 100%. And the external reality takes care of itself.
Yes.
It is. It's literally like a magnet once you do that. It is. It's magnetic.
Oh, yes. That's my love language.
So good. So let's talk about, we said that some people are scared of success.
Whew. Yes, that's been me. Yeah, people can be scared of success as much as they are scared of failure. Like, if you think about a mum who has got 3 little boys and, you know, was in a relationship where she didn't have much support. I'm talking about myself here, guys. And it was already stretched. I have a bridal team of like 20 people. I have another business which has got like, oh God, I don't even know how many clients, like, and they're all needing me. And then I'm stretched so thin. And then a team who also need me. It's like everybody needed me in all of these areas. And the idea of growing more meant that more people needed me. And so there was an element of me which was like, I don't want to grow anymore. I cannot go bigger, because if I go bigger from here, then people are going to need more of me, and I'm not even getting, like, I don't even have space for me. So I started to see, well, yes, there's like the logical elements of my business that needed to be shifted for the scale, like in my team and everything like that, and delegation. But then from an energetics point of view, I had so much work to do, because that was limiting me from my highest potential, because I was consciously choosing a pattern or a belief that if I grow any more, then it's going to take more of me. But the reality is that when you're scaling, you have your team to support you, delegation, leadership. Like, there's so many things that are in place that can shift.
100%.
And that was like a logical aspect then to shift, like, oh, okay, so if that's all in place, then I don't need to be so scared of success. It's not going to take anything away from any other area of my life. And there's, you know, mums in business can also have that fear of like, oh, the choice between motherhood, like being a present mum, and also being a wildly powerhouse, like successful woman, like that is so hard to shift through and move through and not feel guilt for either. So it's like, until you've got that awareness of like, oh, this is coming up for me right now, what needs to shift for me to move through this, like you're blind, like you could be limiting yourself. Yeah.
So I think, I mean, for me, the best time to do that is first thing in the morning. So, you know, if we're looking for a solution here for, you know, business owners that are feeling this way, for me, because I have ADHD especially, it was good to wake up in the morning, you know, to do some breathwork, to do some meditation, to do some journaling, and just ask myself some questions, scan my body, scan my thoughts, and be aware of what's coming up, because the body talks to you, you know, and you just got to listen, because if you don't listen, it's going to slap you in the face. It's just going to keep knocking you around. So,
and it does. It's like the feather, the brick in the truck. Or what's that like saying? It's like, and then all of a sudden you look around, your whole life is crumbling, and you're like, what the fuck? Because you weren't listening.
Yeah. So I always say to people, like, wake up, and if you just dedicate, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. So if you're going to dedicate 10, 20 minutes, whatever that is for you, you know, and that was difficult for me in the beginning with my ADHD, but like I'm going, my ADHD is a superpower. I'm happy to own it. I know that if I manage it, it will be even more of a superpower. You know, when I manage it well, it's just, I'm like such a powerhouse. So it just needs to be managed, which is great. And yeah, so doing that, just, you know, doing the meditation, doing the grounding, very important. That's one of the reasons I got my camper van. I bought a camper van. It was a choice because I rush around all the other time. I was telling Trey, I rush around all the time from here to there to everywhere. And I was like, what if I just slept in the back of my van? Like, and sat with my feet hanging out the edge, looking up at the stars. take my dog with me, like, you know, go
Divine.
sit by a water hole. Like, why don't I just do that? Like, that would just really support me as a human, as a person.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I think that's good advice. Is there any other advice that you would recommend? Like other practical things that business owners could do just to support themselves to become more aware?
To become more aware. Yeah, I love what you shared around tuning in to like scanning your body and scanning your mind, because you want to be aware of what are those thoughts or beliefs, and they can happen in like a split second, and then you can react from that belief or that thought in even more of a microsecond, and then all of a sudden you're like a cyclone.
Yeah.
Like you're completely out of control. But really all that takes is to tune into, and it does take effort. I'm not going to lie. It does take consciousness to be aware of what your thoughts are, or to be aware of what you're feeling, or even to be connected to your body and tuning into what you're feeling. People could be moving around in business completely disconnected to their feelings. And then you like think about a heart-led business, or think about a wildly successful business. It comes from the connection to their vision and their heart, because they care so deeply about their clients results, the client experience, and what their client, like the value that they're offering, right? And if you're not connected to the value of your brand, how the fuck are you selling? Like, how are you selling? Like, how? Like,
If you don't believe in it,
if you
no
don't
one else is going to
it.
believe in it.
So how can you tune into your body and yet in the same breath have how can you not tune into your body and then have a wildly successful business? Because it's connected. It's like, it's who you are, and your leadership in your business comes from who you are being, not what you are doing, because who you are being amplifies the results that you get. When you this is my favorite thing, right? When you show up from a level of magnetism because you're so solid and anchored and grounded in absolute conviction in who you are, the value that you bring, and the results that you get for your clients, you write a piece of content, like all of a sudden your DMs are full. You show up on, I'm getting excited, guys. You show up on stories with that energy and that frequency, you're magnetizing your soul aligned clients. I can't even express this enough. Like when you do anything from that frequency, there is like magic that happens in your brand. But when you're disconnected from that, you're just showing up because you have to do it.
Yeah.
You're showing up because it's like, oh, you've been told to do it. You know this needs to get done. And that all of a sudden drains all of your life force, all of your magic, everything from your soul. There's a complete shift.
Oh, that's so good. Boom.
Yes.
So I think that's such a good place for us to end today, because it is the Meaningful Marketing Podcast, and everything that you just said right now has just encouraged everybody to have a more meaningful life and business, you know. So I think that's amazing. So you've got something to offer everyone today. So tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so I have this beautiful light-coded wealth activation that I would love to gift all of you. It is this gorgeous meditation that you can listen to in the morning. So when you're taking that 10 minutes to yourself, tapping in, fully dropping into who you are as you begin your day, you can be completely connected to yourself and your soul, who you are, the heartbeat of you, and then lead your day from there. Imagine leading your client conversations from there. Imagine showing up and delivering your phenomenal service from there. Imagine managing the finances or the team or anything that is hard work in your business from that space. So I would love to gift all of you.
That's amazing. So where can they find that?
I'll send you the link.
Yep, and put it in the comments below. So we'll put it in the comments below for our audience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So this is another episode of the Meaningful Marketing Podcast. If you haven't already, please rate us, give us a like and a comment below, and can't wait to see you again.